All right, so I found this video where this woman is talking about leave why being only being feminine with white men as opposed to black men. Started a little ways in the video because she takes a while to get to the point. Here we go.
That's exactly what we're talking about today. A lot of people complain that black women who have previously expressed masculine energy when it comes to relationships seem to all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when they get with non-black men, are so feminine. And it's like, I don't understand. Black women are so hard and they get with a white man and they get all soft, they act different. I have an explanation for this, and when I explain this to you, it's going to make a whole lot of sense. In order for femininity to manifest, there first needs to be a sense of security that the woman feels, a sense of safety, and a genuine interest in her welfare. When a woman, no matter what race, feels safe, secure, and knows that the person that is with her is genuinely concerned for her welfare, then a certain yielding process happens. So femininity, what it is a yielding. It
So that's not who you are, just period. You're not feminine all the time because what this describes is, I think you're trying to describe choosing who you be feminine with, but then that would mean by default you're masculine. Because if you just need masculine energy to be feminine, that's exactly what that defaults to. You're just masculine by default. What you're trying to say is you are feminine is who you are. That's the energy you have. You just choose to release who I guess you show it to or give it to. But it's still it. By the way you're putting it, that doesn't make sense.
is an abdication of really your own self-protective energies. You are trusting the person you are with enough so that you can yield to that feminine energy because you don't feel like you need to be responsible for everything. You guys need to understand that femininity cannot exist in its real form unless masculinity exists. So the people who want to get on black women about not being feminine and being hard, I want you to go back to what I said at the beginning, that in order for femininity to thrive, there needs to be a sense of security and safety. So I want you to think about a black woman's everyday existence, especially if she's living in neighborhoods that are urban neighborhoods where there's crime, inner city neighborhoods. Walking down the street, being all girly and feminine and yielding and trusting can get you hurt.
So if you live in an urban area, you're not allowed to be feminine. Therefore, men have to just deal with you being masculine. I I don't understand how that would make sense. If anything, that would mean basically what men say all the time, which is because of I guess the situation, black women put up a wall and black men fight through it. Could that could possibly be a source of why these interactions take place?
Right? There's not the it is not the right environment to express femininity because these women.
And why are we talking about walking down the street? We're talking about your relationship with men. Black women and black men relationships are usually black women being masculine. Some, some depending on the relationship, obviously. But again, if you're now, I'm going to go on a limb and say, yeah, black men have to take on the blame for the share of us who don't have these basic things to provide: security, protection. We'll take the blame on that. But on the other hand, what y'all take the blame for is what I just said, which is y'all like to put up these um, walls. Look at how a lot of y'all are raised. Y'all are raised by a lot of your moms, aunts, grandmas. What do they tell y'all? You make sure you don't need him, and y'all make sure y'all need us. Y'all make sure y'all know. Tell us, make sure we know that y'all don't need us. And it's always this thing hanging over our head, and y'all use it to take jabs at us a lot of times. I've experienced this. I've seen a lot of other men experience it. And what man wants to be in that situation? How even no matter how over your head, well, I'll leave. You're basically nothing to me because I can do exactly what I'm doing now without you. How is this reaction supposed to be?
Do not feel safe. So what you're seeing when non-black women, when non-black men are dating black women who previously expressed masculine energy, all of a sudden seeming to just change overnight, is that the change and the yielding and the submission happens because they feel safe, protected, and special. So the energy that people feel entitled to having without properly expressing the masculinity is the problem. People want femininity to exist in and of itself, and that is just not.
Why can't it? Why can't you just be feminine within yourself? I don't understand. Why can't you, even if you're independent by yourself, can't you have your job while you're being your own provider, while in search of a man, still be feminine and address him in a feminine manner? Can you address a white guy in a feminine manner while having a job? Can you, and providing for yourself? Can you do the same thing to a black guy while you're independent in providing for yourself? I don't understand why all it just, I'm still not grasping your point of how all of a sudden it's a different, unless you just by default view white men as having more of the basic needs that you speak of, which then wouldn't speak to your point, it would speak to mine, because you automatically view black men as not having what it is you search for.
The way that it works. The universe seeks a balance, a yin and a yang. So you can't have a truly feminine woman if she's not paired with a truly masculine man. And to ask for black girls and women to behave like soft white women who, quite frankly, have more safety and security and a sense that they are special, more so than black women do, is kind of unfair. Extremely unfair. And the expectation that black women are somehow supposed to be superhuman and manifest all of these qualities and energies without the necessary framework is asking a lot. And in most cases, asking too much.
It's funny you say asking too much, because see, and my experience is a lot of you all who ask for too much. Because what are the things you ask for in this video that you say black men don't provide? Basic necessities, right? How often do you hear black women say that that's not enough? That if men aren't providing luxuries, it isn't enough. Because you can have a guy who can provide the basic necessities. But what do y'all say? I can do this by myself. You again, you let us know that if we're not going to be doing above and beyond things, that you don't need us, right? And most men, regardless of race, don't have above and beyond. So, especially when you live, as you say, in an urban area. So exactly, if you don't even view us off rip as masculine, as though these people provide this stuff, what exactly do you want us to do? Continue to break down these walls that you built for us when you don't have any walls for them?
I mean, think about you asking a black woman who lives in side of Chicago to be soft and feminine and girly. She walks down the street looking soft, feminine, and girly and yielding. What the outcome will
She'll get a man. She'll get offers. She gets to have a pick, maybe, because she's being feminine. I don't know.
be? Does that make her vulnerable to people who will take advantage of that? Absolutely. So the expectation.
Yes, people are vulnerable, men and women. Like, why is that used as an excuse to not be who you are? Are men not vulnerable today? All the laws are leaning towards your side as far as dealing with each other. If we get you pregnant, that's you don't even have to prove anything. You can just say, "Hey, I want child support." That's vulnerable, right? We marry you, you can go file for divorce whenever it doesn't work out for you on your end. So what we're vulnerable in those situations, but we're still expected to do it, right?
That black women are going to just naturally have this is absurd and it's unfair.
You just admitted to not having default femininity. How is that our fault? Because you don't have default femininity.
And here's a little tidbit that you might not realize. When people in our community congratulate or uplift non-black women who appear to be more feminine, what these guys are doing.
When do we do that? When do we congratulate other races of women? You mean lust over them? Because we don't uplift and congratulate other races of women. Show proof of that. You show all these pictures. What proof do you have that we do that?
Are basically praising that non-black person's cultural, the patriarchy in which they come from, because the woman whom they are referring to, who they are praising, feels that she is safe, she feels secure, she feels special. And when you say these other women of other races are so much more feminine, what you're really saying is that the framework that the males of our culture have laid down do not allow for that. And so while you are trying to insult black women, you don't even realize that what you're doing is insulting yourself or showing the weakness that you're displaying right now because you don't really understand. You feel you are entitled to an energy that you have not earned. So when you see black women happy, carefree, submissive, and yielding to men of other races, you might want to think next time, is she really just acting different because he's a white guy and we're just a bunch of bed wenches and that's all we do anyway? Or maybe, just maybe, that man makes that black woman feel safe, secure, and special.
That's one way to look at it. And you can't say that is totally untrue. But again, you can't deny that we black men, when it comes to black women, often have this wall of just fear that y'all have already in your head to beat down. Speaking personally, I know that even when you are the sole provider in the situation, y'all, because of what y'all come from, how y'all talk, is just the way y'all like to address us is severe, was like just straight up aggression and straight masculine. So don't deny and make it seem as if it's totally one sided. It's not.